So we're gonna have a look at all the screenshots and all the process, but if you have any questions, feel free to interrupt me or keep it until the end, and then we'll have time for all the questions and doubts. So first of all, this is, before starting, just a quick thing. So on our website, we have uploaded all the regulations in different languages. Of course, you can download the PDF, and the regulations are accessible also in these other languages. Moreover, candidates are able to apply in any of the following languages. So apart from English, also Italian, French, Spanish, Chinese, German, and Portuguese. This is to speed up the registration process. A few things to know. So before starting, this is just a small recap of the dates. So as you know, the applications opened on the 16th of February, and they're going to be open until the 9th of June. So this is the phase 1. And during this time, candidates may apply to the website. Then you have here a small recap of all the phases of the applications, but you can have a look on the regulations as well. So I'm going to just go quicker so we can just focus on the important things about the form, which I think is the priority. So how to apply? You can head over to the S.Pellegrino Chef Academy website. This is the link, and also the application page link, the direct link is this one. This is easier for you, so if you share this document with other people, they will be able to find the page straight away. And the button at the top of the page is the one that we use to apply for the competition. Once you click here, you're going to get to this screen. So this screen is going to briefly tell you that you need to be under the age of 30 years old, you need to have worked at least 1 year as a chef in one restaurant, and you need to be currently employed. We do accept applications from chefs who are working as a self-employed chef. So, for example, if they have like a catering company, that's fine, as long as they have worked for at least 1 year as a chef in a restaurant. So that's the important part. Once the chef lands on this page, there are two different buttons. One is to start the new competition, a new application to the competition, and one is to open a saved application. Chefs need to register first. So once they click on here, they're gonna get to this point. They're gonna have to register. They will be redirected to this page, and after they fill in with all the details and create a password, they can confirm their login through their email address, and then they will be able to log in into the application form. Mm-hmm. One important thing, as usual, candidates must be under 30 years old, and the cut line is the 15th of February 1996 this year. Mm. They need to accept the privacy, and they can opt in to receive communication from S.Pellegrino, and after this they can save and register. So this is only the registration part. After they've registered, they can actually enter to the form and they can start the application. We do have these warnings. Sometimes the confirmation email gets into the junk folder, so they need to check also in the junk folder. And if they have any problems at any time during the registration, they can always contact competition, our email. It's the official email, and I'm going to link it and I'm going to write it to you. It's also at the end of this presentation. So we will be able to solve any problems if there is something technical that's happening. So how to apply? The application form is divided into 3 parts. The first part is the personal part. A candidate will be asked to insert their personal details, such as all the obviously names, surnames, date of birth, but also to upload personal documents. The professional part is about work, so we need a short history of their employment. And the third part is the main part, which is the signature dish part. Of course, we have all the details about the signature dish in the regulations, and we have also written the most important one in the application form. The main things to remember is the signature dish must be a main course, so this is one of the main things to remember. So the personal section, this is how it looks like. This is a screenshot of the form. So they can insert all the name, surname, date of birth, email, and the residency. One quick thing, basically when they fill in this part, so the area they compete for is the area where they work. So the important thing is the restaurant. So if their nationality is different from the place where they work, they're going to compete from the area where the restaurant is located. So this is very important to avoid misunderstanding. Even if their nationality, for example, is French, but they live and work in Italy, they're going to compete for the Italian region. After this, I'm just going to skip through the uploading of documents. So we're going to ask for a photograph. We're going to ask for front and back of ID or passport, because this is very important for us to check the date of birth and that the details are all correct. After the personal section, there is a professional section. In this section, they can write the history of the employment. We are asking for the current job title and the current restaurant or catering company. And this is how, this is the important part for what I was saying before. So this is what defines the area they compete for. After this, we're going to ask for a CV. We have also produced a document, which is a template of the CV, so they can download the template and actually fill it in and upload it again, which makes things easier in case they don't have a proper CV ready. And finally, the signature dish part. So this is important because if you already know the application form, you're going to see that this is a bit different from the past few years. We have introduced a section. This section is basically called Smart Recipe part. The Smart Recipe is a Smart Recipe generator, which is very good because what happens is that chefs will be able to upload a file and the file of their signature dish, the recipe, and the Smart Recipe tool will actually automatically populate all the fields of the recipe. So once they upload here a file, they can, first of all, they can send it, and after they press send, they're going to get to this screen. Basically, the tool is going to analyze the recipe. This process can take up to 2 minutes, maximum 3 minutes time. If something happens, usually we have tested, everything is working, but if something happens, please tell them that they should contact us through our email, so we are able to add them, just in case of any technical problems. After a couple of minutes, they're going to get to this screen. Basically, their recipe, once it is uploaded, will be already divided in all the components and all the ingredients. So they're going to get to this screen, they're going to see all the components of their recipe, they're going to see all the ingredients, and all they have to do is to check the quantity, the name, the units. We advise to make sure that everything is correct. Of course, this is a new tool and it works very well, but sometimes something can maybe be skipped, so we want to make sure that they double check all the details we've written in the application form to double check everything. So after this part, they are going to get to the personal belief. The personal belief is also a little bit different from last year's because we have actually explained better what we want the chef to describe with the personal belief. So we have put a bit more text. It's also written in the tool, so they're going to find all the details in the tool. They're going to see the description. And this is very important because it is a relevant part for the evaluation. They are also able this year to download an example of personal belief, which is a bit different from the past few years, so they actually have a template to follow. The last part is the part of the preparation form. Here they can actually check all the last part of the preparation, all the quantities, and finally the equipment and plating. So this is the last part of the recipe. The equipment are all listed in the regulations. They only have to add the equipment that is not present in the list of the regulations. Of course, even if they list something that was already written, it doesn't matter, as long as they list everything that is necessary that is not included in the list. We have also written this part in the actual form, so they should be able to get to the link directly and download the complete list. After this, they can upload 3 photos of the signature dish. We require 3 different photos, so from different angles, if possible, and this is the last step of the recipe. In case they upload some file and is not, maybe they upload and send it and submit, and we do realize while checking the recipes that they have uploaded the same pictures, sometimes it can happen that we contact them to ask for different photos. But we have specified that we do need different pictures. Finally, they're going to get to a recap page. The recap page is important because from this part, they will be able to edit all 3 sections. So until they press on submit application, they can keep this page open and they will be able to make all the edits that they want. So the application is actually sent only when they click on submit application. After they click on submit, they will not be able to change the application form. After this, the application has been submitted. They need to wait and they are going to receive an email with a recap page with all the details of the recipe and of the also date. They're gonna get a message similar to this one through email, and it's the confirmation that the application has been submitted. This is a page for useful contacts. So if you have any questions, so this is the email I was telling you about. So that's competition@sp-chefacademy.com, and me and my team, we reply to this email. This is the section with all the frequently asked questions, and finally the regulations again. So this is it. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask me. Thank you. Valeria, I can see your hand is...
Yeah, I have just one small detail because there are few of the chefs that will not be able to do pictures by themselves. So it might happen that we will support them through our distributor to make professional pictures of their dish. So just kindly ask you if you are not finding the pictures that you need in the application form, maybe once you contact them to put in copy also me and the distributor. Okay. Or ask me for the distributor, and then, because, you know, sometimes it's us providing pictures, professional pictures for them. It happened in the past, it will 100% happen also this year.
Oh, okay, perfect. Okay, yeah, that's fine, no problem. Anyone else? I think there was someone else. Christina?
Yes.
Hi.
Just two questions from my side. First of all, it's just a detail, but when the chefs should put the amounts and the quantities of the ingredients, it should be in grams, or because I understand it depends on the ingredient. Some of them should be in grams, and some of them is like 1 or 2 pieces, or.
Yeah, good
just because
question.
I know these kind of questions will appear.
Yeah, of course. Actually, very good questions. So we have, the system is made in the way that we have grams, liters, and liters. So it's not using, for example, cups, which are used in some countries. So we do use the metric system, like the European one. So yes, however, we do have like the option to put pieces, because of course sometimes they are doing, like, for example, garlic cloves. So it would be 5 instead of cloves. There is the option to select pieces, but also to actually write on the inside the little space. We have the option of writing what they are putting into the recipe. So yes, they do have the option to edit that part. Yes.
Great, perfect, thanks. And other question was related also to the pictures, because so I understand that they should be like professional pictures, or they can like just take it with the phone, and then if they are selected by Alma, then they can like upload another more professional photo. I know this because a lot of chefs just like they start to fulfill all the fields in the formula, and then they just like, okay, I don't have a lot of time to do this, I don't have the pictures. So if they don't have like really good professional pictures, maybe once they just like be selected by Alma, they can upload new ones.
Yeah,
just to know if it's possible.
Of course. Yes, so of course they do not need to be necessarily professional, as in made by a photographer or something, but they do need to be of good quality. So it's fine with a phone, that is not a problem. And if because there are 3 pictures to upload, as long as they do it from different angles, maybe 1 from the top and 2 from the sides, that's fine. The purpose of the pictures is to show Alma how the recipe is and how the dish looks like and how it compares with the recipe, because of course Alma cannot taste the dish. So they need proof of everything to double check with the recipe. So even if it's not the best quality, as long as just the advice is use a plain background, like a white background, a table, it doesn't matter what the background is, but as long as that you can see the details. So it doesn't matter if it's not the most professional pictures. We've seen pictures that were not the greatest quality, but you could see all the elements. So that's the important part.
Perfect. Understood. Thank you.
And they are not going to be able to upload any more pictures after. But however, yes, if they get selected, we are the first one who might ask for, kind of clarifications.
If they don't have maybe a photographer or whatever, if they are selected, I can send to them a photographer or something just to have it for the contest.
Yeah, that's fine. That's all. That part is not let's say the most important part is for Alma to double check.
Just for Alma.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah,
great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No worries. Any other questions?
Stefano, this is Jean. It's more of a generic question in terms of what are the usual pain points or some of the elements that drive some of the drop rates, for them not to complete application, any areas that you think we should focus on in providing support. I think the pictures seem to be sometimes, a pain point. Just curious if there's anything else that you've heard just from the experience of the young chefs being a difficult part of the submission process.
Yeah, of course. Well, actually, one of the things we try to improve as much as possible this year is actually the part of the recipe. I think that part was taking a longer time to fill in the past because they had to manually fill in all the parts of the recipe. Now, with the smart recipe tools, we are hoping that would make everything faster and also a bit more intuitive because they need to double check the details, but they don't have to write them one by one. They do have the possibility, by the way, to just use all the components like in the past. So they can actually just fill in all the parts by, without using the smart recipe tool. But we introduced that because we noticed that was taking a long time for the chefs to fill in, and it was a bit more complicated. So hopefully with this new tool, it's quicker and it will be more intuitive. Yes. I think, I don't know, Marita, if you agree, if you notice any other points, I think that part, maybe what we try to actually shorten all the parts that were very long so that the application form is, quicker and more intuitive. So,
yeah, so it's true. We try to, as Stefania said, we try to do it smarter and shorter, but then, John, that there are info or points that we cannot remove because then they are required by Alma. So it means that, for example, we try to work better also on the request on the recipe, but then there are the points that are basically required. Otherwise for Alma it will be not possible to review it. So as Stefania said, I think that the smart recipe is a good point to help is a good tool to help the young chef. But then please remember that it will be not 100% sure. So it's important to remind them that they need to review and double check everything. So because it's not sure that it will work 100% sure. So this is important. But then it will be easier maybe for them this year to do the application and send the submission.
Yeah. Also, one thing maybe that could be useful, at any time during the process, they can contact us, or you can contact the email competition, because it's better to, ask one more questions and not be stuck than actually leave the application and never continue doing it again. So advise them if they have any doubts, they can always ask us and we can help them through if they have any technical or any other doubts or problems.
I mean, for my experience, just to add on this, for Sean, the main problem was exactly the length of the process. That's why I think the team is working on trying to reducing as much as possible, because as of course they're chefs and they're super busy, blah blah blah. So the point is that they start the process, but then as it's required different steps in different moments, because then you need to fill all the personal details. Then you need to, let's say, complete the dish and enter the dish, and then you should enter the pictures that probably they do in another moment, and then the personal belief, which is required usually the longest time, because they are used to cook but not used to, explain or talk. So that's the hardest part. So what I think it's useful for us, I mean, given the vast experience, is the tracking file that we receive, because in that tracking file of the application, we do know exactly where they are stuck in the application, and if it's repeated over the weeks, we can support exactly where they are, where they are stopping. So that's the main problem. They should feel the process in different steps, in different moments, and this, sometimes it's like, I'm too busy now, I will do it later, I will do it next week, I will do it, and then they quit, basically. So, yeah. But, yeah. So this is what happened, at least to me, so.
Yeah, for the personal belief, that's why we have introduced this year also a template, like a small example more than a template, so they can follow the guidelines. So this is to give them an idea of what they need to write, because that was also one of the points, actually. The personal belief is a bit more difficult, as Valeria said, to, think about. It takes more time. So that's why we actually inserted that section, which is at least we hope that it can be helpful for the chef to have an idea what to write. So yeah, that's also one of the points. Thank you, Valeria.
Okay. So maybe there are no more points or questions now. We can send over the presentation and also the recording. And then for any kind of question or doubts you may have, we are here to help you. We hope to receive really a lot of submission, more than last year.
We wish.
I know that we are all working for the same.
It's complicated, and you have to have in mind that Spain and Portugal are little countries. We are not United States.
But that's for information, Mari.
We know.
When you start sending the application tracking file, just for my information?
Yeah. So I think that in 2 weeks, so maybe around
2 weeks. Okay.
Yeah, 2 weeks, around mid-March, end of March. Okay. So we're starting to send the application tracking with all the info, so name, email, phone numbers and so on. So we really invite you to recall the chef and to invite them to complete the submission. It's crucial. This part, that is really, really important to convert the application in submission.
Yeah. Okay. Great.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you so much.
See you soon.
Bye. I think there is another
sorry,
question
Anna.
from you.
Sorry. Are there any plans for the S.Pellegrino global account, the _official social media account, to be posting about this?
Sorry, to be posting what?
About young chefs specifically?
But regarding the application phase or what?
Yeah.
So we already post the camera video. So we already posted a reel on the S.Pellegrino global page.
Okay.
And then maybe we have been planning to